Hi everybody and happy holidays. It's Heather, the Butterfly Effect plant-based weight loss, with another vegan recipe for you. And this one is all about the holidays. When I was a little girl, I used to love Christmas. I loved the snow. Where I lived, it snowed a lot. I loved the tree. I loved the presents. And I really loved the cookies. I maybe loved them a little too much. And so nowadays, I still love the tree. I still love the presents and hanging out with my family and having fun. And so I like to think of this recipe as something you might want to do with somebody that's a young person in your life, or even your adult kids, or just something you can make for everybody. You can do it either as a gingerbread man, or you could do it as a gingerbread, or as like a ginger snap if you just want to do a round cookie. A gingerbread woman person. So it uses all whole foods ingredients, and let's go through and show you what they are. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add to a food processor. Let's see. It's with the S blade in there. I got that on good. And I'm putting in some very ripe bananas. I'll put in 3 of them. Okay. And it really depends, you know, how many bananas you put in there by how big they are and how ripe they are, because they shrink a little bit and get sweeter when they are more ripe. But I'm going to do 3. And the idea is that you want to do about the same amount of sweet potatoes. We're going to be doing sweet potatoes here in a minute, as I do the bananas. So let me just give this a little spin. All right. And then the next thing that's going to go in, as I said, is sweet potatoes. So I'm going to guess that my 3 bananas equaled about 2 cups of banana. I can't be completely sure, but that's a pretty good guess. And so I'm going to put in 2 cups of these roasted, these are Hannah yams. So they're the white sweet potato. In general, white sweet potatoes like a Jersey or a Hannah or a Japanese sweet potato, that has the white flesh, those are going to be your sweeter sweet potatoes. So what I did was I just put my sweet potatoes on a silicone baking sheet and baked them for about an hour at 400 degrees, and then I peeled them and smashed them, and that's what I got. All right, you know, I might want 3 cups. We're going to see here. I'm pretty sure it's 2 cups. And those kind of brown marks are just roast, you know, where they got roasted. It's going to get completely incorporated into the cookies, so you won't really see that. Okay. I do like the white sweet potatoes better than the orange ones for this recipe. If all you have is the orange ones, or like the garnet yams or whatever, those will work. But I think it does actually work better with the white sweet potatoes, because they are, like I said, sweeter, but they're also a little bit drier. The orange ones are a little bit wet. Okay. All right, so the next, I'm just going to blend those guys together. It's really just as you add each ingredient, just give it a little spin. All right, so now this is the trick that makes it taste like gingerbread. And what I'm going to be doing is using pumpkin pie spice, and then I'll be adding extra ginger to it to make it into gingerbread, okay? So pumpkin pie spice, you can make your own. I wanted to show you that I made this pumpkin pie spice, and all I did was I used 4 tablespoons of cinnamon powder. And you can see I buy my cinnamon powder in bulk from Frontier Co-op, and things I use a lot like cinnamon, cumin, chili powder, I buy them in bulk, and it's much cheaper. So you might want to do that and do your own spice blends too. So to make pumpkin pie spice, it's 4 tablespoons of cinnamon, 2 tablespoons of ground ginger, 1 tablespoon of ground clove, and a half a tablespoon of nutmeg. Okay, and that makes pumpkin pie spice. I'm going to be putting in 4 tablespoons of pumpkin pie spice. So let me get my measuring spoon. Where did I put it? All right, I need to grab my measuring spoon. Hang on one second. Oh, there we go. Thank you, assistant. All right, so I'm putting 4 tablespoons in. 1, 2, 3, 4 tablespoons of the pumpkin pie spice. And now, to make it even more gingery, because it's gingerbread, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of ginger. And I'm going to pop that little shaker off. There we go. All right, there's about 1. Let's put a little bit more in there. There we go. I won't worry about the clumps because it's going to be, you know, blended in the food processor. Okay, so 2 tablespoons of the ground ginger. All right. Now, I want to talk about if you wanted to, you could just stop at this point and just have these ingredients and the rolled oats, which is the next thing that we're going to have. And it will be plenty sweet. It's very sweet from the banana. It's very sweet from the sweet potato, and the spices make it taste like gingerbread, and they're very good. Okay, I am going to be making these cookies for people that eat whole food, plant based, but maybe don't eat as strictly as I do, and so I'm going to be adding a couple more ingredients to make it taste more like traditional gingerbread. They'll still be really healthy. They'll just be a little bit more hyper palatable. So I just want to tell you, if you wanted to stop at this point and just give, in fact, I'm gonna go ahead and spin it. Okay, so if you wanted to stop at that point and you wanted to just make it as is, and mix these with mix this mixture with some of the rolled oats, you would want to take it out of the blender so you don't make flour, right? You want to take it out of the food processor. That would be very delicious, and everybody would like it. Okay, so it's up to you. But what I am going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add a half a cup of date paste. Okay, I made this date paste myself by combining 1 pound of medjool pitted dates with 8 ounces of very strong cinnamon tea. I used, I actually have it right here. I used this Good Earth sweet and spicy caffeine-free tea, and I brewed that double strength and then used that to make my date paste. And I'm going to have to kind of fish it out of this jar because it's in there pretty good. I wonder if I have a clean spoonula. Let me see. I don't. So that's all right. Everything I'm going to make it for. So that's a 1/4 cup. There's a 1/2 cup. Okay. So a 1/2 cup of date paste going in. There we go. Okay. So, you know, the thing is, this is a cookie, right? Somebody, when I made my muffin recipe, somebody said, hey, that sounds, you know, pretty hyper palatable. Well, it's I'm not going to say that it's not, you know, like this is a special treat that you pretty much only get. I don't know about you, but I don't have gingerbread that often during the year. And so, and like I said, I bake for people that don't necessarily eat exactly like I do and that can handle that. So this is going to be something that I'm making for them, and I think that they'll really like it. Okay, so the other ingredient that I would leave out if I was going to be making it just for me is this organic Blackstrap molasses. And the molasses just makes it taste like gingerbread. And we're only going to be using 2 tablespoons. So I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of the molasses. All right, so now I got all my spices in there, all my sweeteners. A lot of times I do, you know, I make those, I shared with you guys my apple pie cookies, and those are literally just, you know, banana and oats and some chopped up apple and some cinnamon and spices. So it definitely works. You don't really need a sweetener in there. If you want to, then a 1/2 cup of date paste is going to be a good way to keep it a whole food and not, you know, add sugar in there to make your cookies yummy. All right, so now I'm going to just scrape that down one more time and give it a spin, and we're almost ready to make our gingerbread men. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, let me just move some things out of the way very quickly here. Some of the ingredients we don't need anymore. If you make date paste, it actually stays very nicely in the refrigerator for like a week if you keep it in a closed jar like I did. Okay, I'm just going to push some of these things out of the way. And what I'm doing now is I'm taking my mixture out of the blender, out of the food processor here, and I'm going to put it right into a bowl. It's nice and smooth. I wish that this video came with smell because it smells really good. And it looks a lot like any other cookie dough. Let's see. All right. Let's get that off there. Okay. We'll work on that in a minute. The good thing about this kind of baking is if you did want to snitch a little bit of the, a little bit of the batter, there's no problem because it's whole food plant-based and there's nothing in there that can make you sick like raw eggs or raw flour. Everything we use is safe. And that's another reason that it's really nice to have with kids. You don't have to worry, you know, like you do with non-plant-based baking. Okay, so I got most of that scraped out of there. We're gonna call it good. All right, and I'm gonna add about 4 cups of rolled oats to make this in, and I can just move this out of the way now. Okay, so I'm gonna add about 4 cups of rolled oats. And these days I'm using organic rolled oats. I don't know if you saw the article that not organic oats have a lot of Roundup in them. And so I just, with my family, I wanted to be really safe. So I started making sure I only buy organic oats. All right, so we need 4 good cups of oats, around that. Again, you know, I always say that these measurements are approximate because, you know, when you're talking about things like banana and sweet potato, one might be more moist than another, so you have to just kind of eyeball it and see it when it gets to the right consistency. So here's 1. I know it's going to take at least 3, so I can go ahead and put in 3, and then I'll just kind of evaluate if it's good. All right, I'm just mixing those oats right into my gingerbread filling. Does not look yummy. You know, one nice thing about cooking with things like oats and sweet potato and even the date paste, it all has a lot of fiber. And doctors say that if you have fiber, especially soluble fiber, like we have in oats, it's going to help regulate your blood sugar so that if you do eat something sweet, it won't raise your blood sugar like it would if you were having, you know, refined flour and sugar and other things. So this is the 4th cup, and we may need even more. We'll see. It's kind of like I just know I just know when it's the right consistency. Yeah, I think we're gonna have the 4th cup. I think 4 cups is gonna be perfect. Okay, so you want it to be kind of the consistency of Play-Doh, and that makes it really, really fun, especially for, like, you know, for kids or really anybody. All right, and because I'm going to handle it with my hands and make it into a gingerbread man, I'm just going to give my hands one more quick wash before I do that. So let me just get all the good stuff off there. Oh my heck, it smells good. There we go. All right, washing my hands real quick. There we go. Actually found my hand soap. There we go. All right. And paper towels in case it gets messy. All right, and I'm gonna make a gingerbread man. So what I'm gonna do is I have my little gingerbread cutter, and I'm gonna put him down on the, or her, on the silicone mat, and I'm just gonna smash the cookie dough down into the form. So rather than having the, you know, like cutting it out like you would normally do, you're gonna just do it this way. It works out better. All right. Okay. Try to make it around the same, you know, consistency. I'm gonna go ahead and use my fingers to get it the right depth all through it and just like press it down. All right. Get that off there. Okay. All right. And then once you have it kind of how you want it, it probably would have been, I should have said, if you do have time to let your dough like chill, it actually works better. But you can just pull it out just really carefully. All right, so I have my little guy, and I'm gonna decorate him really quick. I'm gonna put, these are some organic raisins, and I'm gonna pull a raisin apart, and it'll make him 2 eyes. You wanna do this before you bake your gingerbread people, because it doesn't work out very well if you don't, okay? And then this is gonna be some craisins, which are just dried cranberries. And I'm gonna use that to make him a little smile. And I'm just squishing it with my fingers, you know, and like forming it into a smile shape. There you go. There's your smile. Give him a couple buttons if you want to. You know, let the kids go crazy. Put whatever they want on there. All right. So then I don't know if it's going to pull up because it really, I think it's going to work. I usually chill it a little bit. But look at that. Perfect little gingerbread guy. All right. So then he's going to go into the oven at 375 degrees for about 20 minutes, and then test him and make sure he's okay. And he's gonna look like that when you're done baking him. All right. I hope that you will have a wonderful holiday with the people that you love. And please let me know which version of the recipe you try and how you liked it. I'll talk to you next time, and thanks so much for watching.